And on this episode of Who's Gonna Tell 'Em, we have this from Metro. Doctor Who is in peril, but I'm not worried. It's almost impossible to spin that Doctor Who is doing, I was gonna say good right now. I think good is light years from where we're at right now. It is impossible to spin any positivity whatsoever about what's going on with Doctor Who right now. We're talking record low numbers, record low viewership, record low ratings. It is doing as bad as just. It cannot possibly do any worse right now. By every metric, this show is a colossal failure. And this show has been around for what, 50 years or something? More than that? And for it just to collapse like this, it's so poetic right now that this is what's happened with the show. But you know what? Grain of salt here. Let's hear what this guy has to say because as usual, these journalists know way more than all of us. It says right here, low figures, mixed critical reception, and a growing fan apathy have dogged the show over the last few series, and there's a fear amongst fans that the Doctor might be done for. I honestly don't think the fans are that upset anymore. I think they're glad that this show is gone because all it did was crap on the feet of previous seasons and series of renditions of the show that have done so much better and so beloved amongst all these people. They're glad it's gone. But you know what? Like I said, this guy just laid it out perfectly. The show is in the toilet, but he says right here, yet do you know who else has believed the Doctor was defeated over the years? The Daleks, and the Cybermen, and the Master. Imagine for a second your previous sentence was talking about how low the viewership is and ratings and all this crap, and the next words out of your mouth are, you know who else thought the Doctor was dead? The people in the TV show. This is what we're doing right now. We're gonna go like Rocky Balboa right now. That oh no 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 no, the Doctor's actually not the. Of course he is. You fool. In fact, countless villains over the years have considered the Doctor to be beaten, only to be proven wrong, and recent news has me optimistic that the last of the Time Lords can do the impossible once again. Bro, it's it's over. Imagine for a second, yes, they're making an animated show. It says right here, according to the BBC press release, the new animated show, which is aimed at the preschool audience, we'll see the, I'm not going to try to pronounce this word, Gata found solving mysteries and problems along their companion and their friends. So let me get this straight. The show is a colossal failure right now. They have done everything in their power to ruin a historically great show. And now they're like, you know what? Everyone hates the show now. Everyone hates the direction we're going in. Let's make an animated show aimed at preschoolers. Do you have any idea how how absurd this show is going to be? Because they spent the entire last was like I think it's like 2 seasons. They're not going to get a third season out of this thing. They spent the last few years cramming nothing but inclusive mindsets and diversity and woke crap and gay stuff and doctors in a dress now. So now they're gonna take this model that they use right now, which has been nothing but an absolute failure, and we're gonna target it to children, preschoolers even. Just how does this work? Who is in charge of the BBC? I think it's a government funded program. So obviously they might not care so much that the money is just taxpayer money, but I mean, eventually you have to look at this like, are we sinking money into something that no one's gonna watch? Well, there's a simple answer to that. I think this demonstrates that the Beeb still have faith in Doctor Who as a brand. No, they don't. No, they don't. After all, why would they be willing to invest in a wider franchise if they weren't sure if the series still had legs and arms and hands? Oh, fingers, lots of fingers, ears, yes, eyes. Is this guy like 12 years old? Who the hell is this man? I must admit, in my darkest moments, I have entertained the terror that the Beeb might shell Who. but this recent announcement has me convinced we're going to hear news on the main series return soon. So right now, the series is dead. I think Russell T Davies already said they're going to take a long hiatus, which obviously that's not a good sign. When has a successful TV show ever said, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go away for a while. I can understand if there was some kind of global event that was shutting down everything, which made filming such things a little bit more difficult. But we're not in those times at all, even close to being in those times. So right now they're shelving this thing because why? And because he thinks that they're having an animated show aimed at preschoolers, that means yes, Doctor Who still has like it's preschoolers. They don't know anything. They don't know anything. They barely know what colors and speaking is. And that's your audience. That's what your barometer of a success right there is. That hey, we're gonna show this to children that don't understand a single solitary thing, and that means that yes, the main series is gonna return. Why? Why would you think that? He says supposedly the BBC is finding a new partner for the Bela Lugosi series, which will allow them to continue Doctor Who in some form of another. What I do know is that whoever takes it over is unlikely to have the pockets as deep as Disney unless it's Apple TV Plus. I don't think Apple Plus exists anymore. They're Scrooge McDuck rich, which means Who is going to have to make some adjustments. And this might be one of the easiest fixes to do right now. All you have to do is find someone that says, hey, I want to go out there and make a great show. Not, hey, I want to make the most diverse, inclusive, esque show out there. A show that does nothing but cram messages down your throat. That's all you have to do. Just hire someone that wants to make a good TV show. And with Doctor Who, it's literally the easiest show you could do. Literally, what? And he travels through space and time in different dimensions. Any idea. You can come up with literally any idea. This episode, the Doctor goes to World War II. This episode, the Doctor goes, I don't know, to space and has to run a space Jamba Juice or something. You could literally do anything. There is no idea that's not too crazy for Doctor Who. So the literally the universe is the limit here. The limit is up to the imagination of the writer. And you can't even do that right? You can't do any of that right? Amazing how far they have fallen in just a short amount of time. And to think that, yes, we're just gonna, another studio is just gonna take this on. Why would they? It's a failing franchise. The only thing I could think of right now is why, let's just say Apple Plus, if they actually make any money, which I can't imagine they're making any money right now at all. The only reason Apple Plus would want to take on Doctor Who is just for the library. That's it. Just for the library of God knows how many seasons. The show's been around for like 50 years. So how many seasons is it? I have no idea. That's what I think they would want to take on. No new shows, no new episodes, no spin-offs, no anything like that. We're just going to have the library of Doctor Who. Says we're going to preserve it right here for the fans, and no one's ever going to delete it. We love the show. We want to make sure it goes on. It stays here forever, and that's the only reason why we're taking it. That makes sense to me. Pay for the rights and don't touch it. Because we've seen what happens when the wrong people get their hands on it. And this writer right here, he is just beyond clueless. I thought it was going to be like some kind of spin on it, talking about, oh, well, it did poorly. However, there were some bright spots, but maybe if they course correct, it would be like that's how I would do it. Say, okay, well, here's some of the positive things that came out of the show. Which honestly, I can't think of any, but you know what? Maybe someone that's more versed in Doctor Who could figure this out for me. Maybe they did some things right with it. And that's what you talk about. You don't say, oh, well, the Doctor was defeated in all these episodes. Just, you don't hate journalists enough. That's what it comes down to. I don't know what Metro is. I don't know what kind of publication. This might be a blog for all I know. It doesn't sound like it's very intelligent. I cannot imagine that someone turned this into an editor and they said, you know what? This is perfect. Unbelievable. And the final quote of this is so what I'm saying to my fellow fans is that the Doctor might have been injured in recent months and change may be coming, but the future of this wonderful show seems brighter than the regenerating Time Lord. Delusional. Thy name is whoever the hell wrote this article. Unbelievable. Just beyond tone deaf. This whole article was nothing more than just again, just delusion might be the best way to cover this. So do you think that the spin I heard they were gonna make an animated show, The Doctor, and I'm like, oh okay, you'll probably be like, a PG show or something like that, but you're targeting preschoolers, they're not gonna know what's going on. But I could go on about this all day, but hell man, in the end, what do you guys think about that?